What's up, y'all? So you guys know this is a self-improvement channel, and one of the things that I've been trying to do is to not only just make this as advice and things that I've gone through to help you guys, but also to have like kind of like a benchmark of what I've been going through to have myself be able to go through these videos to kind of watch these videos and see how far I've come and what I've been doing to actually get through this process of self-improvement. And I feel that this is one of the videos that I've been trying to make for a little bit of time, but I feel like now I feel ready talking about it. One of the things that I've learned about myself, and it may be something that you guys can relate to, is that instead of closing the door to things completely that I know are a bad influence for me or get me down a certain path of being comfortable in bad actions and certain decisions, I tend to leave the door a little bit open. And that is leaving the door open to certain people, certain actions, certain activities that I know aren't serving me. But because of the comfort that I feel being able to go down those paths, I leave it open. And I feel that one of the biggest things is that especially growing up, I tend to lean into things that just make me comfortable. And oftentimes that stunted my growth into developing into becoming a better person. One of the things that I have been realizing and one of the things that I've been learning is that there's no real growth in comfort. There's mostly growth when you're uncomfortable and knowing that when you feel uncomfortable, you are being pushed to your limits. And it's only when you're being pushed to your limits that you realize what your new limits are. So you can go and break those new limits and see even further how you can become even better. One of the things that I did these last couple of weeks is that I actually took a lot of time just going through my phone. And what I did is that I ended up deleting about 400 contacts of people that I don't talk anymore, that I know aren't serving me or may have been a bad influence in my life. What I noticed is that when I actually just deleted their numbers completely, not block, not like save in a certain other area or have it backed up, just completely deleted, it was kind of freeing for me. And knowing that it was just completely gone and I didn't have any access, it made it that much easier for me to go and delete even further contacts that I know were connected to people that I knew that were connected to old lifetimes or old periods of my life that I know I wasn't in like the best mind state. And what I know is that if I was to interact with these people now, I would be taken back to that mindset that I was in that moment. And it would take me down a path of doing a lot of bad actions or doing a lot of bad decisions or making a lot of bad decisions that led to a lot of negative instances or periods in my life that I know I do not want to get back to. One thing that I was told and one thing that I read, you can't really finish a book until you close or finish a chapter or continue pushing on in those pages. Me deleting a lot of those numbers are not to talk down on those people, but more or less setting boundaries for myself of I know that me reaching out to this person or me having this number available to myself is not going to take me down the best path right now. And I want to move forward in life, not move backwards. What I actually did, and if it's something that you guys are interested in as well, in terms of decluttering your life from certain connections, is I set this rule for myself. It was pretty arbitrary, but I set it for myself. If I can't see myself interacting with this person in the next 2 to 3 years, then I would actually just go through and delete those numbers entirely and say, okay, I don't see this person in my life in the future. Why do I even have them in my phone? Delete. Doing that was a pretty hard process. It was by no means easy. I was able to delete those numbers, but whenever I got to a name, it would bring up all these memories of what I had associated with them. And deleting those numbers would almost delete those memories, not completely, because those memories and those instances in my life did lead me to becoming the person that I am today. But being able to delete those moments from my mind with that number helped me feel that, like, okay, I have actually progressed past that moment in my life. And although this person was associated in a good or a bad way, I feel better that I'm able to kind of release my past and move on to the future. So one thing that I upload for you guys is that if you feel that you have old connections, old numbers in your phone that you know were tied to certain instances of your life of when you were making bad decisions or was in a bad state of mind, or you know you're not going to be interacting with these people in the future. You can't even see yourself because you can't really know if you're going to interact with them again, but you can see in your mind, do I actually see this person in my future? If I do, is it in a good or a bad manner? And if so, how am I going to proceed with this number? You'll be surprised how many numbers you'll delete, but you'll feel freed from being able to release yourself from the past of those people associating in your life. So that's one thing that I felt was very freeing for me, and one of the things that I'm doing to declutter my life. I think I'm going to do like another couple of like passes, because there are a lot of numbers that you save throughout your life on your phone, and a lot of times I would see a number, I'm like, oh, maybe I can, but then when I think about it again, I'm like, yeah, I can't really. I think I was just really trying to justify it. And you would see yourself trying to make a lot of excuses for a lot of the numbers in your phone. But if you really know, if you really look at that number, think about them, and think about your future and what you want for yourself, judge yourself by your future self standard of what you see yourself as the best person you can be, and then use that person's standards to judge whether or not you want that number in your phone still. Just close the door completely. Once you close that door, knowing that it's a little bit open if you didn't is really going to just take you back down that path, and you don't want to leave that possibility for yourself. So close that door completely, delete those numbers, declutter your life, and move on with your life and become the best person that you can be.